There's a lot going on with our Trump economy right now. And I wanted to make sure that I came on at least once a month to give you some actionable steps to prepare, to prevent, and to profit. So I want to first set the stage as to what is going on and what particularly has been going on most recently. And then I'm going to tell you specific things that you can do to prepare, to protect what you have financially, and to profit from this administration. All right, so let's start here.
It's happening at the same time.
I'm going to say this at risk of my job, Kelly, but what President Trump is doing is insane. It is absolutely insane. It is about the 8th reason we've had for the tariffs, and now he's saying he's putting 50% tariffs on Canada unless they agree to become the 51st state. That is insane. There is just no other way of describing it. And the trouble, Kelly, is that it shows there are no bounds around President Trump. This is very different from the first administration, where there were people around him who seemed to...
He threatened Canada with 50% tariffs. He pulled back some tariffs earlier in the month on some autos. And so it's been a lot of back and forth. So that's caused the stock market to decline because a lot of these businesses are uncertain about what's happening. And also, there are a lot of fears that there's going to be a recession in the next few, this year, probably. A lot of people are saying we might have a recession this year if all of this tariff talk does continue. Now, President Trump, say, hey, we're going to have a tariff, and April 2nd is the new date. And I have that here as well. So, and this is just the stock market down 900 points. NASDAQ went down 4 points. If you're not aware of what that means, the Dow, the NASDAQ, S&P 500, I have a video beneath. April 2nd, that's our next date that we really need to look out for. April 2nd, he didn't want to do it on April Fool's Day because he didn't want to, people to think that he's going to take them back. So April 2nd, President Trump plans to do reciprocal tariffs, meaning that whatever another country taxes us, we're going to tax them. And and he may take that back. This might just be a negotiation. But the thing is, people are not sure. Like, are you serious? Are you really going to do it? Are you just doing it to threaten, to help people come to the table to negotiate? And sometimes he said it's because of fentanyl. The drugs coming across either the Canadian border or the Mexican border, and that's what he's doing it for. There's a lot of different reasons for all of these tariffs, but businesses and the economy as a whole does not like uncertainty. And so you have to be really, really careful because we don't know exactly, what are going to be the long range plans for tariffs. Are they really going to stay? Is it just for negotiation? Because you're not clear, your own personal economy, you have to look out for. Part of the idea around tariffs is that more companies will start producing their products in the United States, but it will make it more expensive. The reason why people are producing their products out of the country is because they can get cheaper labor out of the country. So if we produce it here, it will be more expensive. So either way, whether the tariffs work or they don't work, you can see probably that there's going to be a higher price for things that you're normally paying for. And that could be housing, that's food, that's a lot of your products that you buy every day. So let's go into my suggestion. And I would love to hear in the comments what you're doing differently as well. We're going to go over how I think you should prepare, protect, and profit. So number one, have a layoff plan. I know we've all seen it. They're mostly government jobs. However, although there are a lot of government jobs having layoffs, a lot of private businesses get government funding. And if that funding gets cut, then the private businesses don't need as many employees either. And if the economy as a whole goes into recession, then a lot more people will lose their jobs because people aren't spending as much money on things. So I think everyone, even if you're not a government worker, needs to make sure they have a layoff plan. Assume that you are going to get laid off today. If you were sent home today, how would you live? You need to have a 6-month layoff plan. You should have at least 3 to 6 months. You might want to increase it to 6, 3 to 6 months of, your monthly expenses saved. If you do not have that, you're going to have to start working on that pretty rigorously right now. Okay, so have a layoff plan that's at least 6 months. If you are retired or if you are If you're retired or if you are self-employed, you might want to go up to 12 months of an emergency fund. And if you're retired again, you might have a fixed income that's coming in. And so maybe you don't need as much, but just be mindful. I think that if you're somebody that doesn't have a stable income, again, though self-employed, I want you to have at least 12 months of an emergency fund. Also in the prepare, if you received, a lot of people file their taxes already. If you received a tax refund, then I want you to look. We should not really be getting tax refunds, because tax refunds, you're basically paying the government too much money, right, all year long, and then they're giving you your money back, okay, with some exceptions. But that's generally how it works. So instead of paying so much in taxes every month, then you should adjust your withholding to get more of that money right now. That can help you build that emergency fund faster and not waiting until January or between January and April in order to get another tax refund. So withdraw your withholdings. You can have your tax professional help you with this and say, hey, instead of waiting for me to get a tax refund, let me try to get more of my tax money right now for my my monthly or weekly paychecks. Protect. You need to go through your budget and eliminate any non-essentials. If you're somebody, a lot of Americans don't even have $1,000 saved for an emergency. So this is a time to really go through your budget, figure out, okay, what am I spending every month? If you need to pull up your last bank statement, go line through line. What am I spending? What am I actually spending on groceries? What am I spending on eating out? What am I spending on, subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, anything like that? You want to look through everything and say, what is like my non-essential? So you can take some of that income and move it to savings and just try to save every month. Requote your car insurance. Car insurance has gone really, up significantly, of course, over the last, like everything else. But this is an opportunity for you to requote and try to see if you can save on your car insurance. Home insurance, the same way, try to requote that. If you are eating out, I put groceries, if you're eating at home and you're planning for those meals, you can save a lot of money there. If you're going out to the grocery store without a plan, you're probably spending too much. So go through that budget, eliminate any of those non-essentials, and then you'll have more money that you can save if you don't have a significant savings right now. I also want you to rethink any large purchases, including cars, houses, unless you're getting a deal, and it's like a necessity for you. And even on the housing front, you're finding that interest rates have gotten lower. Interest rates have gone lower in the last couple of weeks, but the reason why they've gotten lower is because of the tariff and recession fears. So you don't want to get into a situation where you buy a house, we get into a recession, you lose your job, and now you can't afford that house. So you want to make sure you are very strong financially. This is not a time to buy when you're not really clear if you have your emergency fund, you have job security, you have everything that you need to say, okay, and I'm getting, again, a good deal on this house right now. And it's something that is a reasonable part of my budget. We're in that 35% of your take home pay as far as that mortgage. Now, profit, okay? Let's talk about some opportunities. There's always opportunities in chaos. So if you have an opportunity, like you have all your savings, you have everything done, you may want to sit on some cash, because in a recession, if housing goes lower, if stocks have already started going lower, you have an opportunity to buy some of those things at the lower price. But you're going to have to sit on some cash to be ready to take advantage of those opportunities. And dollar cost averaging. So even though the stock market went down, it's really the stock market is on sale. If you're dollar cost averaging, that means you're pretty much putting the same amount of money every month into that stock market. So when the stock market is down, you're buying more of those stocks. You're buying them on sale. When it's up, you're buying less. But if you're a long-term investor, these ups and downs on the stock market shouldn't bother you that much. Traders, people that trade in and out pretty regularly, they probably are having heart attacks over the last couple of weeks. But if you're a long-term investor, this is the time. The stock market is on sale based on some of, every day, the administration is doing things differently. So this could be an opportunity when the stock market drops to get in, but it's hard to time the market. That's why dollar cost averaging makes a lot of sense. And then lastly, prepare to refinance. Again, the mortgage rates have gone down, so you need to be preparing to refinance when it makes sense for you. If rates get to 1% less than what your current mortgage rate is, then it's probably going to make sense for you to refinance. I have 2 videos on refinancing. I want you to watch those next so you know when it makes sense for you. If you have any questions, let me go back to the full screen. If you have any questions and just want to share your thoughts, please put them in the comments. I will be coming at least monthly to kind of give you some more ideas. If anything major happens, I want to talk about student loans and how student loans are impacting you. You'll have a video on that pretty soon. And anything else, and I do have the 4 videos that everybody wants me to do. I'm working on those now. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe to my channel for new videos every week.